ako. Kailangan ko po ng notes. Okay, so I'd like to introduce myself first for all the new followers. So I'm Teacher Tina Zamora. I took my Master of Family Life and Child Development from UP Diliman. I'm currently taking my PhD in Psychology at Ateneo. And I've been a teacher and a school director for 21 years. So meron po kaming paaralan sa Quezon City. So yun po ang aking background. Ngayon po, ang suggestion ko po sa mga sinusundan ninyo sa internet or sa social media is the reason why I like comments asking about who I am, bakit nagsasuggest ako ng things, ano bang alam ko, is I want you to question people about their credentials because as I said, marami nga pong misinformation na lumalabas about parenting. And we need to learn from one another. And the information po sana is yung makakatulong sa atin. So it has been researched already and studied. And, you know, knowledge is a progressive thing. Yung pong alam natin in the past, a lot of them are not effective already now because children are in a different environment. So nandito po tayo. Ang plano po natin ay mag-live for 30 minutes. Tignan po natin kung mas mahaba. Pero ang ginawa ko po, ikinulate ko po lahat ng questions ninyo. And if you have more questions for the live, you can just put it in the comments. And I hope I'm able to see it with the app that I am using right now. If I don't, just holler and or message me so that I can answer your questions. Okay? So I'd like to thank everybody who are here. Thank you so much for being here. Alam niyo po, kayo po ang nag-request ng Sunday afternoon. So sinunod po natin yan para ang meron nga pong nag-comment na mommy na gusto ko po Sunday para po kasama ko po yung husband kong makinig sa inyo. So welcome po sa inyong lahat. Happy Sunday. Thank you for spending 30 minutes with me. I know it's only 30 minutes because I want you to go back to your kids because it's a Sunday. May pasok na naman bukas. Or for those na hindi pa po pumapasok, magre-ready pa po kayo para sa pasukan. Okay? Okay, so ito po yung mga questions na nakuha natin from the page. Okay, number 1. I think ang pinakamaraming reaction ko is about about tantrums and about 3-year-olds throwing tantrums. Okay, so I'll just put that as a banner so that everybody will see what we're talking about while I'm talking. Okay. Just also tell me if my audio is okay. Okay, so please share. Yes, please share this live to your friends so that more people can join us. Okay. All right. So, ang tantrums, meron pong mga nagtatanong, Teacher Tina, bakit po yung anak ko sinasaktan ang sarili niya habang nagtatantrum? Okay. Young children po are not yet able to articulate their feelings. Imagine niyo po yung 3-year-old nyo, hindi pa po siya matatas magsalita. So, hindi niya po pa nasasabi kung ano ang nararamdaman niya. At hindi niya rin po naiintindihan ang nararamdaman niya. So, gusto ko pong i-imagine ninyo. Kunyari po, ganitong kaliit na bata. Ang dami-dami niyang emotions dahil po ang 3-year-old or ang toddler or younger than 3, mga 1 to 3 years old, dito pa po sila kumukuha ng pag-iisip nila, emotional side of the brain. Wala pa po sila sa logical side of the brain. So puro emotions po yun. So kung ganito kakaliit, ang dami-dami mong emotions, di ba puputok yan pag hindi mo ma-express at hindi mo ma-articulate at hindi mo naiintindihan. Kaya po sila nagtatantrum. Okay? Umiiyak sila or sinasaktan nila ang sarili nila out of frustration and also to get attention from you. That is how they know how to get attention from you. Okay? So hindi po sila nagmi-misbehave, hindi po sila bad children, they're just pent-up energy trying to come out. And the reason and the thing that they are telling you when they are throwing a tantrum is, mommy or mama or nanay, please help me regulate my emotion. Hindi ko naiintindihan tong nararamdaman ko. Pero gusto ko yung laruang yan, hindi mo binibigay, galit ako, hindi ko siya ma-express. So yun po ang tantrum. Hindi po sila nagmi-misbehave. Sila po ay sumusubok mag-regulate ng emotion nila. Ngayon, may mga nag-comment, nako Teacher Tina, nagpapalaki ka ng brat or ng spoiled brat. Ang spoiled brat po, hindi po natin yun ini-encourage. Hindi nyo naman po ibibigay yung gusto niya eh. Hindi ko po sinasabi na pag merong gustong laruan, ibigay ninyo para tumigil yung tantrum. Hindi nyo pa rin po ibibigay kung hindi wala po sa budget ninyo. For example, nasa mall kayo, hindi nyo pa rin siya ibibigay, no? Pero kailangan po nating tulungan i-regulate yung emotions niya ng galit niya. So, ang spoiled brat po pag-iyak, gusto ko yung laruan, ibibigay po natin yung laruan. We are not doing that. What we are telling parents is that when they do throw a tantrum, we need to help them calm down. Na ngayon, ano po yung usually ginagawa ng parent pag nagtatantrum ang bata? Nagtatantrum din po yung parent. Mahirap naman po talaga, especially if you are in a public place. Now, what do we do? So, he's in the middle of a tantrum, he's hurting himself. So, makikita niyo po sa comments na they will gently, may mga comments na tayo, sige. You will gently hold your child and stop them from hurting themselves because they shouldn't be hurting themselves, no? And you just say, let's be gentle to each. I know, naiintindihan ko, galit ka, no? Galit ka dahil hindi binigay ni mommy yung gusto mo. Naiintindihan ko yon. Magbe-breathing tayo, kakount tayo to 10. 1, 2. So, you help them regulate that emotion. Pero mommy, para matulungan natin silang mag-regulate ng emotion, dapat marunong rin tayo mag-regulate ng sarili nating emotion. So pag sinabi natin kakalma si baby, marunong rin po na tayo magpakalma sa sarili natin. Hindi po ba? So tutulungan po natin siyang kumalma. There are some in the comments say, they let them cry it out. That's fine. You know your baby more than me. And they will talk to the baby or to the toddler kapag nagkumalma na. That's fine. As long as hindi nyo iiwanan, dahil baka mamaya masaktan po siya. No? As long as you convey that you tell them that you understand what they're feeling and you are there to help them calm down. Ngayon, paano po kung tayo po ang sinasaktan? Okay? Kung tayo po ang sinasaktan, ganun din po, we will gently hold them and we will tell them, do not, nasasaktan si mommy. Huwag po natin sasaktan si mommy. Okay? Gentle hands lang tayo. Okay? So, pag tinuturuan po natin, that's not spoiling a child. That is helping a child regulate their emotions. Okay? Okay po tayo. So, titingin po tayo sa mga comments ngayon. Okay. I'll show this comment. If your child has ASD, now, if your child has special needs and they go through a tantrum, ang suggestion ko po talaga for all the mothers who have children with ASD or parents with ASD or autism spectrum or under the spectrum of autism is that they should go to a developmental pediatrician because it's a case-to-case basis. Yung iba pong may autism, madali pong mag-regulate ng emotions. There are some na hindi po. Pero ang leader po talaga, and I will delve with special needs children in a while, ang leader po natin ay yung developmental pediatrician. Okay? Thank you so much, CJ. I have a 3-year-old son here. Thank you for the input. Thank you so much. So that's only topic number 1, ha? Okay. Let's go to topic number 2. Topic number 2 is, so yun po ang tantrum. But if you have comments pa about tantrums, you can just put it in the comments. Okay. Our next one is problems with speech or language development. Sinasabi po sa mga comments and sa messages, I have a 3-year-old, hindi pa po siya nagsasalita. Okay? I have a 2-year-old na hindi nagsasalita. So let's qualify kung ano po yung pananalita. Diba? Number 1 po, ang issue po natin mga mommies ay, they lived through a pandemic. Now, children who lived through the pandemic and the lockdowns, sadly, research show that parang kulang po tayo ng 1.5 years in development. Ang ibig po sabihin yan, kung papasok po ang grade 1 ninyo, para po siyang pumapasok na preschooler. Kasi 2 taon po siyang naka-lockdown. Okay? Pag preschooler po ang pumapasok, it is as if a toddler is going to preschool. So imagine niyo po 'yon, no? That the 2-year lockdown has we went back a year and a half in terms of their development. So, nandun na po tayo. Kaya po maraming nagko-comment na hindi sila nagsasalita, pupunta na po kami sa developmental pediatrician. Okay, so ito po ang mga kailangan nating i-watch out. Number 1, meron po bang eye contact? Ibig sabihin, pag tinatawag niyo ang anak niyo, tumitingin siya, kahit hindi siya nagsasalita. Okay? Number 2, naiintindihan ba niya kayo? Pag kunyari, uutusan niyo siya, magpapakuha kayo ng laruan, tinatawag niyo yung pangalan niya, tumitingin siya. So there is comprehension. If there is comprehension, I wouldn't worry that much. Kasi, ibig sabihin, nakaka-converse siya with you, wala lang pong words na lumalabas. Alright? These are for children under the age of 3. What are the red flags to look out for? The red flags are when they hold your hand to get something for them without eye contact. Okay? Ibig sabihin, hindi niya ma-express sa inyo na meron siyang gustong pagawa sa inyo. Usually, kinukuha niya yung kamay ninyo at pinapakuha niya sa inyo. That is a red flag because that is a symptom of the spectrum, of children under the spectrum. Alright? What are the other red flags? Yung bulol or kaya kulang sa salita, hindi po ako masyadong worried on. It's really more comprehension. Naiintindihan ba niya kayo? Nauutusan niyo ba siya for simple things, no? Tumitingin ba siya sa inyo kapag tinatawag niyo siya? That's the first thing that we look for. Okay. Thank you po for all. I'll go back to all the comments. Naku, tantrums talaga, no? Tantrums talaga yung nasa comments eh. All right. So, those are the problems of speech and language development. Bakit po sila nagkakaroon ng problema ngayon? As I said, 2 years po silang naka-lockdown, kayo lang po ang kasama nila. So, mas mabuti po na pinapayagan nyo siyang makipaglaro sa ibang mga bata. Kung pwede po siyang pumasok sa isang preschool kahit hindi pang araw-araw. Kasi kinder pa naman ang required ng DepEd. Mas mabuti po na nakakasama niya yung mga peers niya o yung mga kaedad niya. Nagkakahawaan po yan. Baka po magsisi kayo dahil bigla yan magiging madaldal. Kasi may mga nakikita siyang ibang bata na kaedad niya na nagsasalita, mai-encourage po siyang magsalita. Okay? Okay, so our next topic is, after that topic, I'll just go through the comments. Thank you so much. Ang dami po natin today. So far, we have, I think, 160 followers who are watching. All right. I'll go to the next banner or topic is, okay, since I already talked about it, we'll go through SPED issues and developmental pediatricians. Okay, Teacher Tina, what is the sign that I need to consult with my developmental pediatrician? Now, what is the difference between a developmental pediatrician and yung pediatrician po ng anak ninyo nung pinanganak nyo siya? At kung sino po nagbabakuna sa kanya, saan kayo pumupunta pag may sipon siya or may ubo or may lagnat. Ang difference po niyan ay ang developmental pediatrician ay ang pediatrician na nag-check kung nahihit na po ng anak ninyo yung milestones nila per age. So, titingnan niya. 1-year-old na siya, nagko-crawl na ba siya? 2 years old na siya, naglalakad na ba siya? Tumatakbo na ba siya? May mga words na ba siyang nilalabas? 3 years old, may mga 3 to 4 words na ba siyang ina-utter apart from mommy and daddy? Nagkakaintindihan po ba ang 3-year-old at ang kanyang magulang pag nag-uusap sila kahit wala pang masyadong words? Yun po ang developmental pediatrician. Sila rin po ang nag-aalaga sa mga children with learning disabilities or special needs. Ang ibig pong sabihin, ito yung mga batang hindi nahihit yung milestones o kaya may disability like autism, GDD or global delay, there's language, there's speech, there's language or speech development, there's a delay there. So ang operating ang word po ay delay. Kung meron pong delay sa milestones, sila po ang nag-aalaga sa inyo. Sila po rin dapat ang leader ng plano ninyo for your child with special needs. Ibig sabihin, sila po ang nagsasabi ng therapist, sila po yung magsasabi kung saan yung eskwelahan pwedeng idalhin ng inyong anak para po magabay ang kanyang plano para po sa anak ninyo. Now, why do parents avoid going to the developmental pediatrician kung maaari? Alam ko po, magastos po siya. However, mas magastos po mga magulang pag dinelay natin yung pagpunta. Okay? Ang kailangan nating paradigm dyan ay kung ang anak nyo po ay may lagnat or may sipon or may duda kayong sakit, hindi po ba dinadala nyo siya sa pediatrician? Pag meron na po kayong duda about the development, speech, behavior, physical development, dinadala po yan sa developmental pediatrician. Di ba po? Kasi marami pong mga, especially Filipino families think, kaya na po natin yan sa bahay. Makakatipid kami. Alam niyo po, sa 20 years ko pong pagiging teacher, early intervention is always the key. Alam ko po, makakalaban nyo ang inyong mga in-laws, inyong mga asawa, na baby pa yan, bakit yung pinapadala sa developmental pediatrician? Early intervention is key. Mas konti po ang gastos ninyo. Promise po yan kung maaga kayong pumunta. Alam niyo po kung bakit? Pwede namang sabihin ng developmental pediatrician that you have nothing to worry about. There is just a delay in one domain. There is just a delay in speech, or there is just a delay in the physical development, but there is no disability. So alam po ng school at alam po ninyo kung ano yung mga recommendations na pwedeng gawin for that delay. Okay? Pumunta na po kayo. Alam ko, deep inside your heart, you already know that you need to go. So please do. Okay? There are some people that I have helped depending on their location kung saang developmental pediatrician sila pupunta. Alright. Okay. So, related to that is one comment by Mommy Joyce. Maari po bang mawala ang GDD and autism? Sa akin pong experience with children with autism, hindi po siya nawawala. Pwede po siyang mag-improve. Ibig pong sabihin, mas gusto ko po na alam ng magulang na meron siyang autism at ano ang mga bagay na pwede nating gawin for his autism rather than I think, ay baka wala na siyang autism tapos wala na kayong therapy at all. It's really, your goals are short-term goals. You cannot plan for your child ng pangmatagalan. You have to do it on a case-to-case basis and short-term goals. So kung tinatanong niyo po, nawawala po ba siya? Sa experience ko po, hindi po siya nawawala, nag-i-improve lang po siya. Okay. Another comment is, may anak po akong may speech delay, di po siya bulol, marunong siya magsalita, pero di po siya makipag-communicate sa ibang tao. Mag-grade 7 na po siya at yun ang problema namin sa kanya. Never po siya nakikipag-usap sa iba at takot pa siya madalas makipag-usap sa ibang tao. Now, if your child is this age, grade 7 is, I believe, 12 to 13 years old, kailangan yun na po magpunta sa developmental pediatrician. Because he is too old to be non-communicative or nagkakaproblema. Ngayon, what are the things that the developmental pediatrician can look for? Pwede pong tingnan yung dila if there is a physical impediment, no? Pwede pong tingnan, so kailangan pong makita ng doktor yon. Kasi minsan po, there is something wrong with the tongue, no? The reason why she's not talking to other people is probably she has anxiety over it because she knows she's having a hard time with it. So, I suggest, mommy, go to a developmental pediatrician. Okay? Another comment is, ganun po yung anak ko sa pagsalita lang po talaga, pero nakakaintindi po siya. 4 years old siya nang makapagsalita, pero nung 5 years old siya, mabulol lang siya, pero nakakaintindi siya pag inuutusan, pag kinakausap. Sa pagsasalita lang po talaga. Ang suggestion ko po dito, Mommy Teresa, ay still go, kasi baka po kailangan niya ng speech therapist lang. Okay? Yun, pwede pong may hangganan. Pwedeng mag-speech therapy lang siya for a couple of months or just 1 year para lang po makorek natin kung meron mang kailangang i-correct. Alright? Thank you so much for all the shares and for all the comments. Okay, last before we go to the next topic. Mommy Jenny, hello po, yung baby ko is 3.5 years old and di pa rin siya nakakapagsalita ng maayos. Though naiintindihan niya kami, pero yung pagkabulol niya is malala. So we also need to talk to our children na hindi po baby talk. Kailangan pong kausapin natin sila in an appropriate manner para po naiintindihan din nila kung paano magsalita ng tama. But I still believe that you should go to a DevPed just to check physically if there is an impediment in the tongue or in the mouth, kaya siya nabubulol. Alam niyo po kung bakit ko to laging sinasabi. When you go to school or when you enroll your children to school, di po ba? Ang unang hinihingi sa inyo ay a physical checkup. They will check if your child is deaf or has difficulty in seeing. Minsan po nakakalimutan nating gawin ito bago sila pumasok. Tapos nahihirapan sila sa school, yung pala hindi sila nakakarinig ng tama or nakakakita ng tama. So physical check po talaga muna lahat. In any problem your child goes through, she needs to be physically checked para makita natin kung dun po yung problema or we need to go somewhere else. Okay? Ang dami pong comments. Marami pong salamat. Okay. Okay, last na talaga kasi parang important itong question na to. Teacher, what is the protocol po for DevPed muna bago OT or pwedeng OT muna bago DevPed? Ibig sabihin po nito, mauuna ba ang developmental pediatrician sa occupational therapist or occupational therapist muna bago ang developmental pediatrician? My suggestion is go to the developmental pediatrician first. Go to the medical doctor first. Okay. So, ano po ang difference nun? Kunwari, madami po kasing tumatawag sa akin doc sa comment. Hindi pa po ako doktor kasi po, hindi pa po ako graduate ng PhD. Doctor of Philosophy po yun. Hindi po medical doctor, hindi po doctor of medicine. Pupunta po muna tayo sa doctor of medicine. That is your developmental pediatrician because that is the physical check. Okay? Yun po, sila po ang leader. Kung meron po kayong pagdududa or gustong gawing consultation, developmental pediatrician po muna. Siya yung, kumbaga yung gumagawa ng mapa. Siya yung master game planner. Okay? Master planner po siya. As a teacher and as a school director, I always ask where is the recommendation of the developmental pediatrician and the diagnosis. Kasi yun po ang susundin natin. Sila po ang medical doctors. Sila ang nagsasabi kung kailangan nyo ng occupational therapist. Now, a lot of parents skip that process and they go straight to the therapist. Why am I uncomfortable there? Because baka po meron tayong hindi nakikitang ibang domain dahil yung occupational therapist, ang nakikita lang niya yung domain niya, which is occupational. Ang occupational therapist po kasi ang ibig sabihin niyan siya yung nagmo-modify ng behavior compared sa speech therapist na siya nagmo-modify ng speech. Okay? Ang leader pa po, sa aking palagay, ang leader pa rin po ay dapat ang developmental pediatrician. So the protocol is DevPed first before anything else. Alright? What is the usual age to consult with a DevPed? Dati po, if you have doubts that your child has autism, dapat at least 4 years old. Pero po ngayon, they can still see them earlier. They probably will not diagnose yet for autism. But early intervention is key. So baka pwedeng mag-OT muna sila or ST. Pero dapat pumunta muna tayo sa DevPed. Ngayon, ang suggestion ko po sa mga teachers kagaya ko, na hindi po DevPed at hindi po medical doctors, we are not allowed to label children with a or to diagnose them because we are not doctors. So, hindi po, for me, it is very unprofessional for teachers or any other person aside from a developmental pediatrician or a child psychologist to label somebody as autistic or has a certain disability because they are not doctors of medicine. Okay? That's a very good point because a lot of teachers are already telling their parents, the parents of the children, na baka po may autism siya. Hindi po yun nire-recommend. Ang nakakapagsabi lang po ng diagnosis ay yung doktor. Alright. Okay. So, dun po tayo. Susunod na questions hindi. Sige, tumingin muna tayo ng comments. Kasi po, medyo madami pong comments regarding children with special needs. Or language. Okay, teacher, yung 3 years old ko po na anak, may nakat po ang surgeon sa ilalim ng dila niya. Ito po yung sinasabi ko, para daw po no to speech delay, pero bulol pa rin siya, nakakaintindi, nakakarinig, nauutusan. Daddy lang yung nasasabi niya, pero Bobby instead of mommy, Baba instead of kuya. May problem rin po ba sa kanya? Kailangan po nating bumalik sa DepEd at tanungin kung kailangan po niya ng speech therapist apart from the cutting. That is what I was talking about na minsan may pinuputol po. Hindi ko po siya binabanggit kanina dahil po baka pag sabihin ko yon na wala pang may experience, matraumatize yung ibang mga na nanonood, no? Pero minsan po nangyayari yon, but best to ask if they need additional therapy. Okay. Teacher Carol, welcome to the live. Good afternoon. Agree, teachers just observe and document what they see, and these will be very useful to the developmental pediatrician, but we are not allowed to diagnose. Okay. Which is better po, a normal school or a SPED school? Hindi po ganun kasi yung classifications minsan, Mami. There is a school that can accommodate special children. There is a school that only takes special children. The first thing that you have to ask your school is, can you accommodate my child with special needs? And I trust that the school that you are talking to should be responsible enough to say if they can take on the case of your child or not. Hi, Teacher Joyce, all the way from Palawan. Okay. At first, akala namin yung anak namin may ADHD. Buti na lang napacheck niya sa developmental pediatrician after evaluation. Learning disorder lang, needs ng occupational therapy. Kaya napaka-importante magpa-check sa DepEd habang maaga pa. Thank you. Thank you. I believe your name is Rico, kahit baliktad, no? But Daddy, thank you so much for saying that na hindi naman po ibig sabihin pag nagpunta tayo sa developmental pediatrician, madadiagnose na kaagad ang inyong anak. In this case, they thought that their child has ADHD, but the DepEd ruled it out and said, we just need occupational therapy and we're fine. Ngayon, ito, magandang topic to itong ADHD. Alam niyo po, mga mommies and daddies, ang nakakaikli po talaga ngayon ng attention span ng bata ay ang kanilang gadgets. Marami pong nag-message sa akin, teacher, yung teenager ko, ang dami ko ng problema sa kanya, lagi siyang nakagadget, anong gagawin ko? Teacher, yung 12-year-old ko, hindi ko mapatigil sa cellphone, anong gagawin ko? I need to remind parents that you're the ones who gave the gadget. Ibig pong sabihin, kayo po yung may-ari ng gadget. So, nasa inyo po yung management nun. And it started when they were younger. So, the older we wait for them to have a gadget or social media for that matter, the better for all children. So, please, delay the giving of the gadget. The gadget is not a gift, it is a responsibility. Please trust the parents who are here right now when they say, when you give your young child a gadget, you will have a problem when they are teenagers. You cannot get that gadget back anymore. And there are a lot of studies saying that the attention span of children are getting shorter because of gadget use. So please, please, please. To quote my videos, never give a young child a gadget na hindi nyo po minamanage ang oras. Or, if at all, huwag nyo lang bigyan. Marami po siyang pwedeng activity apart from a gadget. Okay. Okay. The next banner I want to show is relationship with teens, which I just mentioned, no? Alam ko na most of the, thank you so much. Most of the comments here are for young children, but there are a lot also that are parents of teenagers. But before we go there, thank you so much. Alam niyo po, mahal na mahal ko po yung mga teacher na nandito ngayon sa page kasi alam ko po ang inyong hirap. Alam niyo po yung mga batang nagfe-face-to-face ngayon after a 2-year lockdown is a lot. Madami po, there's a lot on the plates of teachers, no? pati rin po kayo, gusto kong kumustahin mga teachers. Kumusta na po ang mental health ninyo? Kailangan po in tip-top shape tayo para maalagaan natin ang ating mga estudyante. Okay? Tama po, gadgets talaga. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for your comment. Okay. Maganda rin to, no? Nataon kasi inoperahan siya nung 4 months kaya sinabay ng surgeon yung tongue tie. Yes. Thank you po, Mommy Pearl. All right. So let's go back to the topic of relationship with teens. Okay. For the parents of teenagers, and I think for parents here with younger children, makinig na rin po kayo because this is the toughest stage in your parenting journey. No? Yung 2-year lockdown po, napakahirap po for teens. Dahil ito po dapat ang mga taon na they are connecting with their tribe or with their barkada or with their friends. And then you lock them down 24/7 with their parents, of all people. That is why we have a teenage mental health crisis. And my heart goes out to the parents of teenagers who are having issues with their teenagers right now, because it's tough being a teenager post-pandemic. Bakit sila addicted to their gadgets? 2 years, pinagamit nyo sila ng gadget to connect with their tribe. They're not addicted to the gadget most of the time. They are addicted to their friends, to each other. They need that connection. And we need to give it to them. Meaning, we need to give them activities where they can be with their friends. You can manage the activity. You can prepare like a get-together. It's just that they need to be connected with their peers. And that is why they're on their gadgets all the time. Ngayon, kung ang paggagadget nila ay naapektuhan ng ibang parts ng kanilang buhay, meaning their relationship with you, their grades, their schooling, hindi na sila natutulog, hindi na sila kumakain, it is time now to intervene. Intervene now. Mahirap po. Pwede po kayong mag-away. Alam niyo po, ang pag-aaway ng parent at ang teenager, normal po yan. At kailangan po yan for their brains to mature. It's hard, it's difficult, it may be causing you some anxiety and some depression as a parent, but it is needed because there is a teenage mental health crisis. So please, 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 intervene kung detrimental na po sa health nila ang kanilang gadget use. Okay. Okay, thank you so much for all the topics that you gave. But I also want to ask parents, how are you? How are you as parents? When I do parenting seminars, this is my first slide, because your parenting comes from your own emotional well-being. So mga mommies and daddies, nanay at tatay, mama at papa, naiintindihan ko po ang hirap, especially after the pandemic. You're still going back to work. Some of you are still looking for work. And then you have the burden of raising children. And the challenge that it brings, that you are raising human beings that need to be healthy emotionally, pero yung mental health po ninyo nagsasuffer. Please reach out and please ask for help, because the energy that you give out is your energy. And if your energy is depleted, wala po tayong maibibigay sa ating mga anak. So I need you also to take care of yourselves. Diba? That's also the reason why I made the page, because I want to help you out, because it's really, really hard. Diba? So, I'm really happy that you appreciated the information. Alam mo nyo, my professors are in the live, and I'm so happy that they're here. And that's, kung tatanungin niyo po sila, that's the only thing we want, that to give out information that parents can use to make their parenting journey easier and to help out their kids and themselves and their families. Because if there's one thing the pandemic taught us, at the end of the day, it's still your family that's important. Kayo-kayo pa rin po ang magkakasama. So sana po ang pagsasama ninyo ay malumanay, may mga rough challenges, pero with the proper information, it can be a better relationship. Okay. So marami pong I need you to check on yourself. Ang time check ko, wow, we've exceeded 30 minutes. Wow, nagkukwentuhan lang tayo. So let's go through the comments before we end. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. You've been tagging everybody you know, and they're all here. Thank you so much. Okay. I hope you don't mind if I show this comment because it's public. Ang anak ko po, dalagitan na po, iba siya mag-tantrums, naghuhubad siya para magalit. Ako ang natataranta kami sa kanya. Mommies, for teenagers that are showing also behaviors that are inappropriate or there is a cause of worry, I suggest po we go to a child psychologist. Okay. Saan po tayo pwedeng pumunta for child psychologists? We can go to Ateneo Bulatao Center. You can contact them. They have a Facebook page. We can go to We Thrive. That's Dr. Jabi Herrera's group for child psychology. Since we've gone through the teenage phase, pag meron pa po tayong cause of worry, kahit po konting duda, pumunta na po tayo sa child psychologist. Okay? Or a psychologist that focuses on teens. Marami po sila. And I will give a list na lang po one of these days in the page. Okay. There's another question, how to handle a 7-year-old boy having a tantrum pag pinipilit niyang gustong mag-gadget pero enough na kasi matagal nang gumamit ng gadget. Mahirap po talaga pag gadget ang pinag-uusapan. Pero we need to redirect. Hindi ko po yun na-discuss, no? When a child is going through a tantrum, we need to redirect the energy to something more productive. If we want them to stop using a gadget, we need to be creative enough to think of an activity that they can do to redirect that energy. Kasi kung kukunin nyo lang po and then you will leave him doing nothing, mas mahirap po yung tantrum. So let us connect and then redirect. Connect with your child and then redirect to another activity na unplugged. Okay? Thank you naman. Ang ganda naman ito. Okay. Last few comments before we end. Have a blessed Sunday also. Thank you for coming. Ang dami pong nasa live. I'll try to be live. Kayo po magsabi, lagay niyo po sa comments kung gaano po kadalas niyo ako gusto mag-live para mag-live po tayo. Okay? Let's see. Let's get a last few. Okay, ito po. From Mommy Lampa. Ang hirap talaga pagsabayin ng pagiging nanay. Pagiging nanay minsan ang stress sa trabaho, madala sa bahay, at ang stress sa bahay, madala sa trabaho. Kaya kailangan labanan para magampanan lahat ng obligations. Totoo po yan. Palakpakan po tayo sa lahat ng mga nanay na nagja-juggle ng mga... Diyan tayo magaling mga nanay, nag-jugglers tayo Nagja-juggle tayo. Pero mga tatay, alam niyo po, tuwang-tuwa rin ako sa mga tatay na nandito. Very few po ang mga fathers na nag-a-attend ng parenting webinar and seminar. So, natutuwa po ako na may mga tatay po ngayon na nanonood. Pero mabuhay po kayo, Mommy. Mahirap po talaga. Kaya po tayo nandito para magtulungan at magbigay ng magandang information to one another. Okay. Kids with tantrums or anger management, child psychologist pa rin po ang suggestion ko dyan. Okay? Hi, Teacher Tina. We observed our 4-year-old niece at times has a short patience when doing something she doesn't like. She also has this period na when you're talking to her, she doesn't respond. Pero pag pinaulit mo, naiintindihan naman niya yung sinabi. Is there something going on with her? For this, I need more information, but short patience, that's very evident for a 4-year-old, especially if it is an activity that she doesn't like. But how is she with activities that she likes? That's what I need to know. Can she focus on activities she likes? when you're talking to her, she doesn't respond ASAP, pero pag pinaulit po, ibig sabihin naiintindihan niya po kayo, baka namimili lang po siya kung kailan siya nagre-respond. So, I also need to figure out if she's interested in other things and that's where we focus on. Para po, tingnan natin kung mahaba po yung attention span niya doon. Can you recommend a DevPed in Laguna or Batangas? I'll try to make a comprehensive list of all the developmental institutions that I know para po mapuntahan po ninyo. Okay. That's it, mommies. It's 41 minutes. We've had an average of like 180 to 200 watchers for this live. I'll post this on FB so that everybody can see it. But thank you so much for all your support. We are now, I think, 45,000 strong from 11,000 like just a week and a half ago. And nakikita ko po sa comments na talagang there is a hunger for information for parents. And I am here together with my other teachers, my other professors are here for you to give you research and sound advice so that you can be a better parent to your children. Maraming salamat po for joining our live. You can message me or send me a comment and I'll try to produce more videos for you. Thank you so much. Bye. Thank you, everybody. Have a happy Sunday.